Hey guys, it's me, Mr. 250, and welcome back to Tales of Berseria. So since last time I spent, I want to say like 2 to maybe 2.5 hours doing a bit of grinding, leveling up our characters. I don't know what they were at before, but they're definitely a couple levels higher now. And I changed their strategy on Blast to be only on Change Out, which while they don't pull out their really cool super moves, to be perfectly honest, when they die, they're more inconvenient than if they didn't get a chance to pull out a cool super move, so I think they're better suited for survival to change out, because they'll switch out with a character that's out of the battle, and they won't die. Also, let's listen to the skit first before I forget.
Hey, Mogiloo, I was wondering about that book you have on your waist. The one you called your heavy book, for flower pressings.
Your curiosity truly knows no bounds, does it, kiddo? Okay, nobody else knows this, but since you're so interested, I'd hate to leave you hanging. My heavy book, the one I use for flower pressings, is none other than a collection of Bienfu's poetry.
Bienfu likes to write poems?
Yep, you'd never guess it, but he's actually just about the best Moloch poet around. Some people even call him the Great Norman Poet. Here, I'll read you my favorite one. If there is something unimportant happening to the east, I'm made to go there and back. If there is something unimportant happening to the west, I'm made to go there and back. I can never rest nor be at peace. Every day my life is a living hell.
What nice poems.
Heavy stuff.
Isn't it? That's what makes it so good for pressing flowers. It's so wonderfully, oppressively heavy.
Mogiloo, your face has gone all sinister looking.
It's a good book. It's a good book. What else? Oh yeah, so I also learned a couple other interesting things. I'll try to get started before long. So I've been fighting with Velvet, and she's very glass cannon-y. But, I've very much learned how to use her, I think. But the other characters are surprisingly useful in their own right. Eleanor's move is okay-ish. I'm not super impressed by hers. Mogiloo, though, she's got this cool ability where she can absorb spells. That is magnificently useful against, like, the crowd of snake ladies or whatever that all decide to cast a spell at the same time, and that reduces your entire party to one soul. That is immensely useful to use her to stop that. Laphicet he can lowers people's damage, and he gets a lot of other, like, interesting buffs. Eisen's is really hard to use, and I'm talking about their, when you press the right trigger, the blast thing, I can't ever remember exactly what it's called, but his, the enemy has to be down or stunned to use, but his is extremely powerful too, just for a wide area of attack. And Rokuro, I should say, is a good, like, retaliation thing, when you're defending. I don't know if I'll use all of the characters for this, but because I've been switching out a lot for fighting, I've gotten kind of used to using some of the other characters, so we're gonna give it another shot.
Ooh, it's a big one.
Also, I got better at dodging that attack in particular. That one's really rough. Because if you get hit by that, you take a lot of damage. You can't really side dodge out of it, you've got to backstep out of it. Well, I will say, Eleanor's just one interesting effect. It's got a guard break built into it. So if nothing else, you can use the guard break part of her attack. Oh, and I learned some new arts. Like that one. That one, I like those two. The Dark Dragon and the Slag Assault. Those are pretty powerful moves. I like those ones. See, now somebody switched out because they were getting low on health. That was Mogiloo. I'm finding it to be especially useful, just the ability to switch out like that. But I do think Velvet is the most useful just because she turns to being able to do a ton of damage. Oh, I also learned another cool move. I'll show it off in a second. So after I do Consuming Claw, I do one attack, and then do it again, and I get Heaven's Claw. It does use another soul, so it's not the best one to use, to be perfectly honest. But if I've got like a big surplus of souls, I can use it for more damage to keep the move going. Yep, that's what happens when you don't dodge that. I can use that to regain health though, to switch out with other people like this. And Roker is really good at just being fast. Yep. Oh, and also, of course, you get that extra soul for swapping out, which is really useful. That's kind of, I think, the big reason why I end up using it. She also has this really nasty habit. Whoops. She has this really nasty habit of getting a really long range, like, stun on an enemy. Or maybe mid-range, but it's still, she can hit really far away. The other thing I learned was that, like, let's say you're stunned, right? You can't do anything. You're stunned for like a good, 3 to 4 seconds or something. It really sucks. You can actually swap out while you're stunned. So if you're about to die and you're just really dealing with a bad stun problem, you can just swap out if you have enough BG. So I think swapping out is immensely more useful than just being able to do a really powerful move against the enemy. Yep.
It was a close one, but I am the victor.
We defeated them handily, not even a single death, so... And I don't think that was technique. I mean, I think somewhat that was technique. Knowing when to swap out with a backup character helped a lot, but I think that was also just because I needed some more levels. So yeah, that's that. I mean, I think it was a mixture, I guess, to be honest. I was under-leveled. Yeah, I got that before, but I forgot to get it the second time. I was under-leveled, so that definitely was hurting me a lot. But I just didn't know about changing all the AI so that they would be a change out, so they wouldn't waste all their BG, was basically what I was trying to do. And I wanted the AI to be smart enough to know when they're hurt to swap out with somebody else. So that I don't have to do it for him, because doing it for him is kind of tedious. You have to really quickly, while you're in battle, mind you, you have to use the control pad, or I'm using the Steam controller, so I have to use the big pad and click on it, which is kind of even harder than a control pad to use for that function, I gotta say. But you gotta use the control pad to click over to their character, then swap them out, and then if you want to be able to swap your own character out, click back over to your own character, all while the fight's still going on, without hopefully getting mauled by something. So it's kind of a pain in the butt to switch for them, but if you have the AI set to swap out, they seem to do a pretty decent job of swapping out with another character when they're, I don't know, like 25 to 30% health. Much better than doing, a move that does a couple thousand damage. You know, because when you die, you just become a big inconvenience, and then, especially since AI won't even bother to use healing arts on you, or healing items on you, like a life bottle, I have to stop and access the life bottle, so it's a lot more convenient this way as well. And now I won't be able to have too many problems with snake people. Like, I had big problems with snake people before, but I've gotten really good at dealing with them. See?
You're not hurt, are you?
No, I'm fine.
I've gotten really, really good at chaining those together. And then just getting like tons and tons of souls. Because that's a problem with the groups you have if you're not attacking fast enough. Which was kind of mentioned, you know, if you're offensive enough, a lot of times you can interrupt enemy attacks. So if you start your attack fast enough, you can just overpower them and start consuming souls rapidly, because from a group you get so many souls if you hit them all with an attack. I think that's the key here. Once you get to a group, you need to just overpower them as quickly as possible, and the best way to do that is with Velvet's Claw. And most of the time, you can get another soul or two from that, and if you don't, you can swap out to another character and then fight with them for a little bit and then swap back to Velvet and get that soul back. So, I have found that to be immensely useful. I don't think there's anything else here. Eat your rosemary, kids. And it's a lot of fun to fight that way too. It really sucks getting just like beat down constantly. So it's a lot of fun just going full force, and then if you manage to get more souls, great, keep going. And if not, swap out with another character and play with them for a bit. Until you want to swap back to Velvet again. I do really like Eisen's move though. I should show you guys that, because I don't know if it's ever really been shown. I mean, if you played it, you've seen it, but it's still a lot of fun. Might start out with Eisen here, actually.
If I'm in this 100%.
Now, I gotta say, Eisen's probably my worst to control character overall. I don't know, he seems like he has a bad habit of being kind of squishy-fied too. Because while his main blast, whatever move, man, I'm kind of upset I can't remember it. I can figure out what it's called if I look here really quick, though. Oh man, I thought they'd tell me. Well, anyway, it's this kind of move right here. Draconic Drive, yes. It's very powerful. It's just, for some reason, I don't know, I feel like a lot of his moves are kind of short-ranged. So you can run into the problem of not having... Yes. Aviator sunglasses. You can run into the problem of not having enough to deal with crowds, if that makes sense. Oh, Eisen. Nice hat. The classic look speaks volumes about the wearer's uncompromising tastes. You actually look stupid wearing those, Eisen. I gotta say. Now, the eye patch, we can get behind that. We'll try it for a bit. You know what? Snake ladies, let's go.
To be extremely wary.
Don't know why the game is slowing down so much right now. Oh, it is slowing down really bad. Something's going on. I really love that move. He looks so cool doing it too, doesn't he? Only the frame rate would go above 30 FPS. console peasants over here. You know what? Give me a second. I need to figure out what that is, because that's bad. That's bad. Oh, and I don't want to switch characters. That's bad. Okay, hopefully I fixed it. Whoops. Pressing the wrong B button, because I don't know what buttons are anymore. Yeah, that's much better.
Another victory.
So yeah, Aizen's fun to play with.
This has always been my fight.
But I think I am going to stick with Velvet just because, you know, I like controlling her a lot, and she's kind of fun to play with. But I gotta say, the other characters, like swapping them out into battle, isn't really that bad. It's actually, I'm pretty good at controlling them. So if nothing else, I was trying to figure out, I'm trying to do something here. I forgot what I'm trying to do. No. I was trying to figure out if the game, like, they had gotten better at making the controls work all over, because, you know, like I said, previous Tales games, you have Meiji characters, and they can hit things, but they're not meant to hit things. It's not a good thing to hit things. So it was really hard for me to control the Meiji characters before. This feels important. It's not, in fact, important. It's very hard for me to control the Meiji characters, so if I ever swapped them, it was like a very different playstyle. Now they've made it so everyone is at least somewhat melee competent, and then the mage characters, you know, will have a lot of, you know, Moloch arts that they do. So I don't know if they made the controls better, or they just made everyone more melee-oriented, is what I'm trying to say. But I do have to say it's a lot easier for me to pick it up, because I never really had very good odds trying to control any of the characters that had to sit still and charge up an attack.
How about it, Laffy said? Picking up on anything?
Yeah, in the direction of the temple. The feeling's getting stronger now.
I sure hope whoever's in the temple didn't actually need us while we ran around for 2 hours grinding against enemies. They might be dead if they, like, immediately needed help. Oh yeah, but Steam in the background was downloading a big game. Normally that doesn't have a problem with my system, but it decided it was a problem all of a sudden. Admittedly, this is a pretty big game. And then, for some reason, my antivirus was also doing a lot of somethings. I somehow feel it might have been related. It might have been, like, filtering the web traffic that I was downloading the game from or something. I don't know. That was weird, though. I wonder why they built their temple in the water. Do you think it used to be not in the water and then, like, the oceans rose or something? Or did they always have a grand plan to have a temple where the entrance is, I don't know, 2-3 feet from sea level? So if the tides change, maybe it's high tide right now, and this is as high as it gets. I don't know. Oh, but we got some dead guards. Like, I don't know about these guys. These guys might be alive. But the ones in the water are legit dead because their faces are underwater.
The demon we heard about? Sounds like it's
Don't
having
jump to
fun.
conclusions just because it
Then
makes
we'll
a
use
blood
this
curdling
distraction.
scream. doesn't mean there's a demon in there. Yeah, these guys might be okay, you know? They might be like, I'm hurt. That guy might be okay. This guy's legit dead, though. His head's fully under the water.
Wow, look outside! It's the ocean!
This was a place of worship for Aminoch, the Water Empyrean. The ancients built this sanctuary underwater for the same reason that Eumasia's temples were built underground.
Oh, so there is a reason for it being underwater.
Couldn't have been easy.
Aye. With the Earth temples, all they had to do was keep digging. Here, they had water to contend with.
How did they do it? You can't split the sea like you can a log.
They started by stacking giant stone blocks in the shallows, creating an enclosed space. Then they drained the water and expanded the enclosure. Once they had done that enough times and secured enough dry space, they were able to dig into the sea floor.
It's mind-boggling, isn't it?
The humans believed that by going through such great hardships to build these temples, they could show the depth of their devotion.
Additionally, current research suggests the site of this temple once sat on the seacoast.
What? Are you saying I'm wrong?
No, I'm only reporting what I've read in academic journals.
How would coastal ruins sink into the ocean?
When the Empyreans began their slumber, the land shifted, and this temple was swallowed by the sea. Scholars were able to prove that the sand and the heavy stones formed an airtight seal around the structure. Later, people carved an undersea tunnel to connect to the temple, bringing it to its current state.
Now that you mention it, I think I read that book too. Revised Theories on Ancient Architecture, right?
That's the one. Have you read it, Eisen?
No, I only read the first edition.
The problem with the stone enclosure theory is that each time you expand the enclosure, the innermost stones have to be carried out. Once that was pointed out as being too inefficient, alternate theories were developed. The revised edition has a number of competing theories. I highly recommend reading it.
I will then.
So, wait, was that a complete rebuttal of Eisen's explanation?
Yeah, I think it was.
Not my intention.
It's okay. Archaeology is a continuous process of asking new questions and making new discoveries. Prevailing theories change all the time.
What's it matter anyway? Let's just get going.
Just a bunch of rocks under the ocean. Not like I cared. You can't murder a rock.
There's no Empyrean here, right, Eisen?
If you're worried about it, why not flip that coin of his? Heads, no Empyrean. Tails, Empyrean Central.
But it always comes up tails.
Like I said before, these temples are nothing more than places of worship built by human hands. The current religion started when humans, fearful of natural forces, began to worship four gods they called the Empyreans. If you're concerned about whether or not one is sleeping in these ruins, just remember that their very existence is only legend.
Be that as it may, Inominat certainly exists.
Aye. But I've never heard a single story of anyone actually seeing an Empyrean. Inominat must be a special case then.
Must be.
I suppose so. If there were four more like him, and they were all trying to stop us, we'd be sunk.
I can't disagree.
Alright, let's go in the temple. I shouldn't have been surprised it was a temple, I don't know. I hope this temple looks different. It does look slightly different. It's got cool blue things on the walls, so I'm already impressed.
We will need to be extremely wary.
You can get really good combos going, by the way, if you just keep doing this. It's like constant noise, basically, is what we're growing into now. I do like that move a lot. I really like Aizen's move where he basically steps on them. He does like a cool stomp move.
It was a close one, but I am the victor.
I've gotten really good at those group battles just because I can keep constantly pummeling them with Velvet's move like that.
Scout
Also, we
ship
found
setting sail.
Tipo Island, which is its inhabitants love everything pink, which has led some to call it the Pinkest Isle. I think we also came across quite a couple new treasures. I think this was one of them.
I've never seen a stone like that.
Miniature obelisk unearthed from a Marcian subcontinent. It appears to be an artificial crystal made by an ancient civilization, but their methods remain unknown. There's a very rare stone called Acryus, and it's clear as a crystal, which is rare still. For us to find this fragment, it was a lucky break. A fragment? A lucky break? I wasn't trying to make a pun, I swear. Well, I thought it was funny anyway. Was it? Well, I guess there's no turning off this sharp wit of mine. And he said it with such a straight face, too. That's the funniest part. It wasn't supposed to be a joke. Found this cool orb.
Reminds me of the Scarlet Knight.
Said to balance the energies between our own dimension and another. Wow, spectacular, Velvet. That deep, deep red. It's like a sunset reflected in the ocean. That's... what, did you see? Did I say something funny? No, not at all. But I hadn't noticed that's the same color of a sunset once I saw it with Laffy. Guess the beauty in anything comes from what you bring into it. There's these weird guys here.
That's adorable.
A trio of dolls found drifting across the Crystallirion Sea. One represents strength, one beauty, and one craftsmanship. What are these dolls supposed to be? Otters? No, they're Orsorin. Never heard of them. They are a curious race that is said to have descended from otters. Alas, they all vanished from this world long ago. Interesting. Anyway, these dolls are incredibly lifelike. What craftsmanship! Indeed, I keep expecting them to turn and blink at me. And their fur is so delicate and soft to the touch. Wait, do you think that fur is the real thing? Are these actual Orsorin? Please do not say such dreadful things. I can't remember.
This is one hell of a
No, we already did that one. I don't
love
think
this
there's
stone.
anything new here.
I
This
should try
one might
cutting
have
it.
been new? No, this one wasn't new. We already read that one.